Well, what's another week in Star Wars without some fabricated controversy? The next major thing coming out of Disney as it relates to Star Wars is the Disney Wish cruise ship. Now, this is not just a Star Wars cruise, it includes experiences from all around the Disney entertainment giant, from dining with the Avengers to visiting a virtual New Orleans, from The Princess and the Frog to a Star Wars themed bar called the Hyperspace Lounge. Now, the experience features virtual windows into space, an extensive Star Wars themed drink menu of beer, wine, and cocktails, but it also features the most expensive drink in a Disney park or cruise. It's called the Kaiburr Crystal. The drink experience is an elaborate cocktail with yet to be disclosed ingredients and served in a dry ice laden camtano. Now, for those of you who aren't sure what a camtano is, that's the ice cream maker looking thing that is sort of a portable safe that the Mandalorian received his bounty in from the client in season 1 of the show. The cost for this drink is $5,000, not 500, $5,000. So, as the maiden voyage of the ship happened to be this week, and it's been populated by bloggers, travel writers, and journalists, of course, news of this drink made its way to the internet, and the reaction was, well, not unexpected. The responses ranged from "this price is disgusting" to "just Disney profiting again" to "how is this even ethical" to "George Lucas would never approve of this." And I completely understand that perspective. At face value, selling a cocktail in a fancy container for $5,000 is absolutely excessive, and it's staggeringly high priced, but it's not disgusting. It is, in fact, Disney profiting again, and it is completely ethical. And I hate to say it, but George is the godfather of wherever possible make money on a franchise. So let's start with that George Lucas comment. The man reinvented merchandising and the blockbuster. He was brilliant enough to take a $500,000 pay cut from the Star Wars production in order to retain all the rights to merchandising. I'm not telling you anything you don't know when I say that Star Wars and merchandising are joined at the hip. Even people who aren't even Star Wars fans probably have some piece of memorabilia in their home somewhere. So, how would George feel about this drink? He might feel a little icky, but I think he might approve, right? I can't speak for him, but I think he probably would. But let's get to some of the other points. Is it ethical? Yes. Calling a $5,000 drink unethical is a complete misappropriation of the term. I will agree in principle that if you were charging 5,000 bucks for water in the parks on a hot day, you could call that unethical. When I was in Disney World a few weeks ago and the water was $3.50 a bottle, I didn't feel it was unethical. I felt it was excessive, but it was not unethical. No one is forced to buy this $5,000 drink. It's on a menu alongside typically priced $10 to $20 drinks. It's a choice to buy it, like buying any other sort of Disney item or experience. And additionally, this happens to be on a cruise ship, which is a luxury vacation. The trip started around 1,800 bucks for a 3-night, 2-guest cruise. It's not terribly outrageous, but it's not cheap. And offering a luxury item at a luxury price on a luxury trip is not unreasonable. Next, and maybe one of the most common comments was, "This is just Disney profiting off of fans." Yeah. Yes, it is. Disney made a $4 billion investment in 2012 when they bought Lucasfilm and the rights to Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Willow and anything else that may have been in the pipeline. And this included not just the films and the stories, but the licensing. They can slap a Star Wars logo on literally anything they want. And they have, from action figures to theme parks, from Bop It toys to t-shirts, from Christmas ornaments to collectible statues, and everything in between. They're definitely going to profit from fans. To think anything else is really being painfully naive. People have thrown out, well, what about Star Wars is for everyone? And the challenge with this argument as it relates to this absurdly priced alcoholic beverage is that it begins to implicate all other forms of licensing. Disney Plus as a service is competitively priced. You can buy a Star Wars toy for $5 or spend $25,000. Yes, $25,000 on a life-size R2D2 at Galaxy's Edge. The range of pricing makes Star Wars accessible to everyone. There's a way to own a piece of the galaxy far, far away at every single price point. The decision of how and where the consumer spends their money will dictate what becomes available. For example, the last two Hasbro HasLab projects have shown that there is a limit to what customers are going to buy. Last year's $350 Rancor was not appealing enough to reach its funding goal, and with only a handful of days left, Reva's $500 lightsaber is not looking like it's going to make it either. These are two misses when it comes to identifying what the fans are willing to pay for. These are business choices. Now, the stories of the $5,000 cocktail also happened to hit on the same day that Star Wars Celebration tickets went on sale, and the 2023 convention sold out in minutes. However, as is the case every year, it raised complaints from fans saying that the tickets are too expensive. And I hate to say it, but these kind of events are experiences that have price tags attached. Unfortunately, like a Disney World trip or a cruise vacation, all things have a price. But it is interesting to watch the confluence of anti-Disney sentiment related to things like the Kaiburr cocktail and the Star Wars Galactic Cruiser experience. That's the $6,000 two-night live-action role-playing hotel located in Disney World. It's bringing anti-capitalists and right-wing conservatives to link arms and decry these premium price experiences as pricing the common man out. It's another discussion altogether to talk about why the right jumps on these things, by the way. But their short story of that is that it plays into the base and it gives them another reason to dislike the parent company, which they dislike over alleged moral differences. And it just proves how shallow their arguments truly are. But I digress. The last argument that I've been seeing is that offering a $5,000 drink is a disgusting choice or a reprehensible thing to do. They throw things in like, why not donate that money to charity? And it's a waste of money. And both are taking the moral high ground in response to wishing they could spend obscene amounts of money on a drink. I'll give you this one. Almost. Is the price outrageous? Hell yes. Would that $5,000 help someone in need? Absolutely. However, trying to tell someone how to spend their money is a completely different discussion. Making a drink available that costs a couple or more mortgage payments for the average homeowner is not hurting anyone. If someone has made the decision to buy that expensive experience, then let them. You can judge them, but it's not up to you to advise them on their choices. Now, when I was at Star Wars Celebration, there was a line that practically wrapped around the show floor waiting to pay $300 to get a photo or an autograph, not both, with Ewan McGregor. Over the course of the 2 days, I would estimate that Ewan and the company managing his meet and greets made nearly $500,000. There was no outrage over this, nor should there have been. But the point must be made that if a fan chooses to pay $300 to meet 5 seconds with Obi-Wan Kenobi and walk away with a signed poster, why is that any different than another fan spending $5,000 for a drink and a toy space safe? There is no difference. But actually, there might be, because as I was finalizing this little episode of Bad Takes and Brown Liquor, more details came to light for what one receives as part of the $5,000 price tag. It's an experience that's much more than a $5,000 cocktail. But of course, people reacted before having gotten all this information because that's what Twitter tends to do. So, according to vacation blogger Scott Gustin, the Kaiburr Crystal cocktail is made up of Caymus Cognac, which sells for $250 per bottle, and Grand Marnier Quintessence, which sells for $3,500 a bottle. It also includes shots of Pappy Van Winkle 23-year Reserve, which goes for about $150 a shot in New York City. Taylor Kingsman Edition Very Old 20 Port, which sells for $4,500 per bottle, and the Watenchi Gin, which sells for about $2,500 a bottle. The buyer gets to keep all 4 silver-plated cups, and Gustin goes on to say that, quote, you also get a Star Wars backpack, a water bottle, other gifts, and a hyperspace-themed room decoration. And that's not all. It also includes a bottle of sparkling wine and a voucher to visit the Skywalker Ranch. Wait, it also says here that the camtano is not included. Oh, that's an outrage. Frickin' Disney.